Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So for this video I'm going to be talking about horror films I'm excited to see in 2024, or at least I'm hoping to see in 2024. As a disclaimer, really I should stress at the start of this video I have got some release dates for these films, but I'm not 100% sure if these are the release dates for the UK or which countries they're actually release dates for. So I apologise if I get any of these wrong. I do want to stress that at the start of the video. Really what this video is all about is me talking about horror films I'm expecting to see this year, but not 100% sure in all cases that I will definitely see all of these films this year. But they're ones that are anticipated, highly anticipated, and ones that I'm especially excited about seeing as a horror film. Let's hope 2024 is a better year than 2023. I mean, for me personally, actually, a lot of the films I saw and went out to see in 2023 were genuinely pretty good. But I found also a lot of the films I watched, a lot of the ones I streamed were kind of disappointing. So I'm hoping 2024 is a great year for horror and that it is at least better than last year was generally. Though, as I say, a lot of the films I actually saw went out to see last year were actually really good. So anyway, I'm going to do a few honourable mentions first before I talk about my 5 most anticipated films, the films that I'm most excited for. We're going to just start talking about a few honourable mentions first of all. My first honourable mention is Baghead, a film which I think has come out in some countries already. I think it's due for release in the UK about February of this year, but I'm not 100% sure even of that. It stars Freya Allen. It's a remake, I believe, directed by Alberto Corredor, and it's about this creature that you can talk to, and you can talk to your lost loved ones through this creature, but not without consequence. That's what interests me. Is I like the idea that there's a consequence to doing that, some sort of payment maybe or price to doing that. So I like the idea of the film. I don't know the original film, but it's just a film that sounded interesting. That has stoked my interest, so looking forward to seeing that one as and when I get the opportunity to see Baghead. Next up as an honourable mention is Beetle Juice 2. I do have a release date for this film of 6th of September in the UK, directed by Tim Burton. Now, again, I've not even seen the original Beetle Juice. I know, call myself a horror fan, right? I'm a bit of a, a poser? I don't know, but I've just not seen the original Beetlejuice film for some reason. I do intend to see it before I actually go and see this Beetlejuice 2. Big names in this film: Jenna Ortega, Michael Keaton. You've also got Winona Ryder. So it's a film I'm looking forward to seeing, even though I've not seen the original film. I just kind of, it's Tim Burton. I like a lot of Tim Burton films, and I'm just excited to see what Beetlejuice 2 brings to us once I've gotten to know the original Beetlejuice as well, of course. That's another honourable mention. I'm also looking forward to this film called Stream, due for release at some point this year. Don't have a release date for this one, but it's by the team that did the Terrifier films, as I understand, or a lot of people that were involved in the Terrifier films involved in this film called Stream. It just sounds like I might enjoy it because of that. Partly it's going to be some sort of slasher film by the sounds of it. People trying to recreate, or this family trying to recreate an old vacation they once had, like they're trying to live back the glory days or something, but there are some murderers on the loose. Sounds like it's a slasher to me, but just sounds like it could be some fun. And if it's by the same team that did the Terrifier films, I'm personally a fan of the Terrifier films. I know not everybody is. They're extremely violent and gory, but I think it could be a bit of a blast. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to Stream. Another honourable mention is The Watchers. And this is going to be directed by the daughter of M. Night Shyamalan, Ishana Shyamalan. So I'm just really interested to see what she brings to the table, whether she follows in the footsteps of her father with his directing style and his movies, or whether we get something totally different. And as it's her directorial debut, I know a lot of people are saying that she may, there's probably some pressure on her, right, to deliver something kind of like her dad would. But I don't know, actually. I think her dad has done some pretty bad films recently, or some not so good ones. At least, maybe not bad actually, to be fair, but films I'm not so interested in. So I'm hopeful that actually, there's some pressure off her. Actually, it's just her debut film. Give her a chance. I'm just going to give her a chance and see what this film ends up being like. The Watchers. Apparently, this is about Mina. This is a woman who gets trapped in a forest, or stranded in a forest in Western Ireland, and she is stalked by mysterious creatures. So I mean, it sounds like fairly standard horror stuff, right? But I'm interested to check out what this directorial debut turns out like when I get to see it. There is actually a release date I think I've got for this, 7th of June 2024, so that will definitely be one that I go out to check out when it comes to screens. Next honourable mention, unsurprisingly, if you know my channel and you know the horror segment of my channel, and I've talked about these films before, Terrifier 3 is due out for release October the 25th this year. And it's based at Christmas time, and it's got the cast returning from the original film. It's also from the last two films, rather, from Terrifier 2, get there eventually. And also has Damien Leone directing this one once again. And a lot of people, it's already created some controversy because it looks like there's kids involved from the trailer and everything. But I mean, kids in horror is not anything new. For me, maybe it depends on what they actually, you know, if Art the Clown and how he kills the kids is the thing that people are worried about. And I get that side of things. You know, if it's really, really brutal, that might be a bit much, certainly, you know, understandably for a lot of people. But I think, you know, kids in horror and being killed off is nothing new. I mean, watch When Evil Lurks from last year. I mean, it's not anything new in horror, so I don't understand just seeing a kid in a horror film why everyone's gone, you know, it depends on if the kid is probably brutally killed and in what way they're killed in this film as to whether or not it's really going to cause controversy for me. Let me know your point of view on that in the comments. Always interested in debating these kind of things. But yeah, Terrifier 3 is another honourable mention for me. I'm quite looking forward to that film. But it's not one of my top 5. My top 5 now I'm going to reveal. So at number 5, because of the success of Saw 10, because how much I enjoyed that film, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing Saw 11 now, which is due for release. It's been announced. It's going to be released on the 27th of September. I'm not 100% sure if that's also the UK release date or maybe just the US release date. Not sure of that. But it's hopefully they're just going to follow in the footsteps of Saw 10. I mean, I felt like there were some loose ends with how that finished. I want to see whether Cecilia is really actually killed off or what happens there, whether that rivalry continues, whether we see it just advance slightly further in the timeline. I'm not sure. For me, I think they should not change too much about what they did for Saw 10 and keep that same sort of core, keep the principles, the fundamentals of that. You know, make sure Tobin Bell is the lead. But I know he's getting on a bit in his 80s now. But I still think he has that star power, that gravitas, which makes a big difference to the Saw film. So I still think he should be the focus of this next Saw film, the Saw 11. I don't mind if they bring back other accomplices a bit, but I still want the focus to be Tobin Bell. I'd like to see them advance, and as I say, I think it would make sense if they carried on. The problem is with the Saw timeline that there's so much crowded into it and packed into it. It's such a convoluted series. It's hard to know whether they can really do how much more they can pack into Saw. But I'm excited about this one nevertheless, and it's my number 5 because I just loved Saw 10 so much last year. My number 4 is they follow, this doesn't have a release date and it might not even come out in 2024, though I'm hoping it does come out maybe by the autumn or the winter of 2024. We might see it this year. It's going to be directed by David Robert Mitchell again. It's going to have Micah Monroe coming back. Really excited about it because I love It Follows. I hope we get the same sort of soundtrack composed again as we did with the original film. I suppose the time lag with this one, in fact it's been a long time since the original, might mean that it maybe doesn't quite hit the same. I don't know, but I'm just really excited to see this one come, this sequel come, and based purely on my love of the original film. I'd like to see something really good again, and you know, big fan of Micah Monroe's actually here. I just think everything I've seen her in has been excellent, so can't wait to see They Follow should it come out this year. My number 3 is Return to Silent Hill, although I was a little bit hesitant at first, but I'm genuinely just really excited about this for some reason. It's going to be based on the Silent Hill 2 video game. Silent Hill 2 is, I think it's my favourite video game of all time. I remember playing it back in like the year 2001, 2002, something like that, and I absolutely adored the game. I was hooked on it. I couldn't, you know, I really enjoyed it. So partly because of that, but also because I think Christoph Gans, who directed the original, was coming back, and I didn't think the original Silent Hill was a bad film at all. I thought it was quite good. Don't get me wrong, for me personally, I loved the first half of that film. I thought that captured the video games quite well and the atmosphere brilliantly. But the second half of the film slightly lost me with some of the, for me, I thought it went a bit over the top with the drama, sort of got very melodramatic, Wasn't as keen on the second half of the original Silent Hill film as the first half, but I'm still excited about this film. Still can't wait to see what Christoph Gans does with this Return to Silent Hill film. And I believe it stars Hannah Emily Anderson in, who was in Jigsaw, although I didn't get to see a huge amount of her potential, I think, in Jigsaw, so I don't know her that well as an actor, but I'm looking forward to seeing maybe what she brings to Return to Silent Hill. I thought she was pretty good in Jigsaw, to be honest, but don't know a huge amount about this film yet, really. So we'll just see what comes with Return to Silent Hill. But it's just one I'm just generally really excited about because it's Silent Hill. That's it. Number two. So my number two most anticipated film of horror film, I suppose you could say film as well, of 2024, is Maxine, the third instalment in the Ty West X trilogy. Mia Goth's back again. You know, I love Mia Goth. I love pretty much everything I see her in. Infinity Pool last year, also Pearl, which actually was released in 2022 for some countries. I didn't actually see it until last year, but Pearl, incredible film as well. And this is the thing, if Mia Goth's in it, it's getting to the point now, if Mia Goth's in a film, I want to see that film because she's just got that X factor. But that aside, this trilogy has been really strong so far. I like Ty West's directing. I like the films he's done in this trilogy so far. I like the chronological aspect of it. That's really good too. It's really well thought out so far. I can only think Maxine is going to be a banger. If it's anything less than a great film, I will probably be disappointed, to be honest. That's why it's my number two. High expectations for Maxine. I really hope it doesn't disappoint. I don't think it will disappoint. It maybe will only meet my expectations if it's a good film and just doesn't quite, you know. I thought Pearl was fantastic, so I can only hope that Maxine is another great entry in this trilogy. But I am very excited about Maxine. That's why it's my number two. But there's one film above all others which has really, I've just got a gut feeling it's going to be good. And I've been very wrong in the past, so I could be very wrong again. But this is going to be a new installment in the Alien franchise. It's going to be a prequel set between Alien and Aliens called Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, which also gives me a bit more faith because he directed Evil Dead from 2013 and Don't Breathe, two very good horror films. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, maybe this could be good. And, you know, wasn't really into Prometheus or Covenant at all. I actually personally prefer Alien Resurrection because it's just a blast to watch. I prefer watching that to Covenant and Prometheus personally. Even though Alien Resurrection isn't a great film by any stretch of the imagination. But anyway, Alien Prometheus, very excited about this to see what Fede Alvarez has to offer us. And yeah, set between Alien and Aliens. Make it relatively, I think keeping it really reasonably simple is the way to go, but making it exciting, giving us some action maybe, could be a really good addition to a somewhat worn out franchise. But let's see what comes with Alien Romulus. I'm excited. That's my most exciting film maybe I should say. The one I'm really looking forward to for release in 2024. Thanks for always watching this video, guys. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub if you like this kind of content. This film is, this channel is very much kind of, you know, a lot of album content, a lot of album reviews and music type stuff, but I do also cover horror and fantasy. I always like to stress that. Sometimes people are surprised when they see a horror video or they see a fantasy video, but remember the channel banner. This is music, horror and fantasy, so you sometimes get a mixture or one video relating to any one of those topics. So thanks very much all, and bye for now.